Thanks for joining us on National Focus. I'm Jarna Hector. Coming up, Dominicans have been granted visa-free entry into Schengen states. We have a new banking act, and farmers receive equipment in the quest for export certification. Details of our headline stories and more after this.
You're watching GIS.
Thanks for staying with us. A bill for an act to provide for the regulation of banking business, the establishment of a single banking space, and for incidental and related matters, and the repeal of the Banking Act No. 16 of 2005 has been approved by members of the House of Parliament. The nation's leader gave concluding statements at Thursday's session before the passing of the bill.
It is to enhance the banking sector supervision so that depositors can be protected. There are some fundamental differences between this bill and the 2005 Act. The main difference is that the authority for licensing, regulation, and supervision is now directly the remit of the central bank. This is to ensure that there is no ambiguity in the actions that need to be taken in respect to banking operations. No legislation is perfect. There's no legislation on our books is perfect. And at the same token, one cannot put everything in legislation. There'll be regulations that you will have to draft and develop to strengthen and to give further details as to the operationalization of the various sections in the legislation. And those regulations would be prepared and would be provided so that it can bring greater clarity and finality to the issues that we're seeking to address in this legislation.
Parliament was adjourned following the approval of the Banking Act. Parliament also approved supplementary estimates of expenditure for the first half of 2014-2015 following debate on Wednesday. At the second meeting of the first session of the 9th Parliament on Thursday, May 28th, members of Parliament voted in agreement with the 2014-2015 supplementary expenditures amounting to more than $14.3 million. Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit has defended his administration's public assistance program. The Dominica leader explained to Parliament on Wednesday that the process is very transparent.
When you come to us for medical assistance, to go overseas, Madam Speaker, as I have said in Parliament several times, there must be a letter from yourself making the request. There must be a referral letter by a consultant, not even a junior doctor, a consultant, saying that you need to go overseas for medical care. And the third piece of document, which is critical, is that you must have an invoice from the hospital to the hospital where you're going to get the medical care. Right. And those payments are made directly to the doctor. If you come with an invoice from Dr. Ferrer for a surgery, we pay him directly.
Honorable Minister for Foreign Affairs Francine Barron is representing Dominica at the 101st ACP Council of Ministers meeting and the 40th ACP EU Council of Ministers meeting in Brussels. The ACP group is 70 African, Caribbean, and Pacific states. The May 26 to 29th meeting of the highest decision-making body of the ACP group of states is discussing salient issues facing the ACP group. Of paramount importance to the ministers are the future financing for development for ACP countries, the status of the Economic Partnership Agreement, the Climate Change Summit coming up in December, and the post-2015 Development Agenda. The Council of Ministers endorsed for the first time in the group's history the creation of a platform for small island developing states to follow up implementation of the Samoa Pathway, which was the outcome of the 3rd UN International Conference on SIDS, which took place in Samoa in 2014. The 40th ACP EU Council of Ministers meeting will focus on financing for development, migration, trade cooperation, and ACP private sector development. It is expected that the EU will pronounce on the future of the ACP-EU relations post-2020. The encounter between the EU and ACP is of special significance since it is at that high-level meeting that Dominica, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada and Trinidad and Tobago signed a historic waiver agreement with the European Union. The nation's Prime Minister and Finance Minister, Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, has announced that effective Thursday, May 28, 2015, Dominicans will no longer require visas to enter Schengen states. Honorable Skerrit made this announcement when Parliament resumed on Thursday. Prime Minister Skerrit also highlighted that as of May 15, 2015, visas were no longer required for entry into Brazil. The nation's leader credited much of this success to cooperation between Dominica and the French government. In other news, the government of Dominica continues to invest heavily in the agriculture industry. That's according to Honorable Minister for Agriculture, Johnson Drago. Honorable Drago was addressing Wednesday's sitting of Parliament.
We are moving on, Mr. Speaker, we are moving on with additional investment in agriculture. As we speak, the abattoir is rapidly being completed. We've just completed the administrative building. We will be building sheds over the container abattoir itself and so on. And we're preparing now for the investment aspect of it, where we will be assisting farmers. Some $2 million will go into the livestock sector, where farmers will be contracted for the poultry and pork section of producing for the abattoir and so on. And we're very excited about that. The farmers are excited about it, and we are looking forward to that. The coffee plant in 1 Mile, we're rapidly preparing as well to officially open the coffee plant. Of course, we've had some challenges with electricity. We have overcome that now, so very soon we will officially open the coffee plant.
In its 2014 manifesto, the DLP listed job creation, food security and foreign exchange earnings as key reasons for the administration's focus on agriculture. You're watching National Focus. Still to come, the House debates government spending for a school eye screening program.
Did you know the Caribbean Court of Justice is 2 courts in 1? The CCJ has 2 functions: an original jurisdiction, which deals with your right to move between CARICOM countries freely and your right to move your money and your business. This is the basis of the CARICOM Single Market and Economy, CSME, and the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas, and an appellate jurisdiction to hear appeals from courts of those countries which decide to use it as their final court of appeal and no longer go to the Privy Council. All CARICOM member states who have signed the agreement establishing the CCJ are members of the CCJ.
Welcome back. Farmers across the island are being encouraged to become certified in the production of fresh produce. Part of this certification process involves the use of safety and personal protective equipment. On Thursday, the National Authorizing Office handed over $30,000 worth of equipment to the Bureau of Standards for farmers who will be trained in their use. The equipment is funded by the European Union's Banana Accompanying Measures or BAM program.
My friends, this gesture may look simple, but I can assure you, however, that with this gesture, it is an integral part of the total development taking place within the agricultural sector in Dominica. The BAM program, through the Office of the NAO, takes pride in facilitating the development of agriculture in Dominica, and we will continue to play that role collaboratively with the support of the government of the Commonwealth of Dominica.
Director of Agriculture Ricky Brumond says this will allow farmers to become more competitive on regional and international markets.
Our planning or our strategic outlook points to building a farmer that is sound, a farmer that provides food that is sound for human consumption, a farmer, of course, that will help the competitive edge of the country, a farmer that will do things on farm to increase revenue, increase income, and of course, ensure that his family's needs are met, and a farmer, of course, who will easily and in an affordable manner accept the process of certification.
Director of the Bureau of Standards, Dr. Steve John, encourages farmers to take advantage of the opportunity to expand their markets.
Guadeloupe, Martinique, Saint Martin, the talk is they no longer can produce food for themselves because of the heavy use of chemicals. So Dominica has an opportunity to export products into these countries. But here it is. They tell you before you come with your product, they want to make sure you don't have the chemicals that they use to destroy the country in your country. Certification again. Propel was intended to get small farmers to sell now to the higher end of the market. Not so much where the hucksters does trade, that is at the lower end where all the standards and quality play a role, you know. But notwithstanding that, if you go into the supermarket, the hotel, the restaurants, now people looking at quality issues and safety issues. So the Canadians put a lot of money right now in the Caribbean to get small farmers ready so that they can have the quality and the safety requirements to sell food right in the region.
The farmers are eager to use the new equipment.
I do pineapples. I do other things, but I'm going to be doing pineapples in a big way. So of course, I would like my pineapple to travel as far as Europe. And Europe has a very specific standard in what they expect. And if we don't give them what they want, I may not get the sale. And I would like to be able to have a nice income for the rest of my retired life on pineapple.
According to government's $14.3 million supplementary estimates presented to the House of Parliament on Wednesday, $111,000 was spent to facilitate an eye screening program at schools on the island. Subsequent debates on the estimates revealed support for the program, which has so far been piloted at 2 schools. Senator the Honorable GIS Benoit told the House that he sees more than an isolated health program.
This Dominica Labour Party government has ensured that every young person has access to quality education. And having achieved that milestone, we would like to now ensure that no student in the classroom is impaired from reaching their full potential. It is remiss that I cannot recall one of the speakers on the opposition side who spoke in support of this effort. It's very remiss, Madam Speaker. And I would say that it represents a broader vision by this government to embrace all young persons, persons with disabilities. As we can see in the Newtown community right now, we are building the first school that will be accessible to persons with disabilities.
The Honorable MP for the Portsmouth constituency, Ian Douglas, voiced his support from another angle. He wants the opposing members of Parliament to look at the bigger picture.
Sometimes we have to come to this House with a bipartisan approach. Sometimes we have to leave the politics for the streets and for the platform. But when we are elected here and we are elected parliamentarians, sometimes I think it would lend more to our credibility to stand and support something that is good.
The I Can See Clearly Now program is so far being financed by the government of Dominica from local funds with technical support from both local and Cuban experts. Government announced in 2013 that it would seek to begin eye screening at schools. This was based on a growing number of requests from parents seeking government assistance to meet their children's eye care needs. The health officials are saying that the results so far justify the program's necessity. The Roosevelt-Skerritt administration has made a positive impact on the lives of residents of the Soufriere constituency. Honorable Parliamentary Representative for that constituency, Ian Pinard, told Parliament on Wednesday that much has been done by the administration to protect lives and property and to make lands available for housing.
Soufriere constituency is one of the areas that the government has performed very well. We have seen the construction of 2 city fence walls. And right now, we have quite a bit of projects ongoing in the constituency. For example, we're spending almost $680,000 on the Ravine Wall in Sibuli in Point Michel because of the trough of 2013, which devastated some areas in the Sibuli Ravine. And now spending $680,000 to make sure the residents who are living close to the ravine are safe. And this is what this government is doing. This is what we continue to do for the past 15 years. And that's why on December 8th, the people elected again for a 4th consecutive term, the Dominica Labour Party. So, Madam Speaker, we look at the Union Estate area. Since we came in office in 2000, almost every 3 or 4 years, we have been selling land in the Union Estate area and developing that area. We will spend close to $5 or $6 million developing the Union Estate area. And we have sold close to 300 lots for the residents of Point Michel and surrounding to make sure that lands were available.
And that's the English news. McPherson St. Luce is next with the Creole highlights.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole. Non, moi, c'est McPherson St. Luce. Premièrement, mon parlement de Bill Supplementary Estimates $14 millions qui Premier ministre Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt présenté en parlement mercredi. Selon Premier ministre Skerritt, ministre Public Works dépensé plus gros tranche l'argent là à valeur $9,8 millions. Si l'argent ça l'a dépensé en réhabilitation et puis maintenance chemin, dans paiement pour travail chemin Mont Prosper en parmi d'autres. Département Electoral Commission, ministre de l'Argent, Santé, Agriculture et puis l'Office Premier Ministère, c'était les autres ministres là qui dépensaient la reste de l'argent là. Un aspect aussi qui recevait attention, c'était un son avec $11 millions qui dépensait pour faciliter un programme pour screen des étudiants à l'école. Premier ministre Honorable Skerritt, bien satisfait justification manière l'argent l'a dépensé. Premier ministre a aussi mentionné que 88% l'argent là sont des routes payants, 8% grant, ça c'est l'argent nous parle pour payer, et puis 3% sont des routes loan. Le Parlement a approuvé ces estimates là mercredi. En notre nouvelle, Bureau of Standard Dominica en collaboration EP National Authorizing Office fait présentation équipement pour habitants servis pendant qu'il a fait préparation pour produire pour la place là. Il y a une cérémonie pour place en l'occasion Multipurpose Park House à Rose aujourd'hui. On lance l'équipement la présenter. Quand même si l'on directeur agriculture et Bromant, bam qu'a supporté programme et des habitants.
Il a mené nous bon plaisir pour ça nous a fait aujourd'hui. Dominique ni ça nous a couillé bam banana company measures. Et ça bam la fait c'est l'argent pour ça nous a couillé un farm certification programme. Comme que nous a fait synthèse ça planter avec habitants fait en la plantation yo ka ban nous manger qui bien bon pour manger qui pas ni problème qui pas ni pesticides c'est bail ça. Aujourd'hui nous ça nous a fait c'est hard office anyway c'était planté avec habitants équipement avec différents bails pour faire cette café bien elle fait pour protéger yo même avec d'autres monde qui travaillent ba yo avec faire certains manger là nous taper en assiette nous avec ça nous mettre dans les marchés là bon pour manger avec bien une haute santé pour nous quand nous manger oui.
Alors, nouvelle organisation propelle qui a bien supporté le programme de développement agricole en pays Caraïbes. Dr. Nadia Paquet, c'est officier organisation là en Dominique.
Organisation ça c'est une organisation qui c'est qui est CHF Caribbean. C'est une organisation qui reçu l'argent du gouvernement Canada et fait travail en 8 pays caribéens là. Ça ces pays c'est Jamaïque, Barbade, Saint Lucie, Saint Vicente, avec, Guyane, Dominique, avec Trinidad. ça nous a fait Dominica actuellement, c'est nous avons travaillé avec le ministère de l'Agriculture et l'autre côté comme secteur privé, mon code d'APEX, Bureau Standards, et tous ces gens-là qui ont responsabilité pour l'agriculture. Aujourd'hui, nous avons ces gens-là qui mettent information qui sont NDO, produits primaires qualité produits. Ces produits là, nous les produits là à tuer supermarché, produits là pour exporter et produits là, nous les produits là à tuer côté comme hôtel. Parce que vous savez à niveau ça là, c'est mon là en qualité produits primaires qui ça nous fait normalement.
Finalement, il y a 1076 étudiants dans tout le pays là, quand écrit examination guard 500 avec 42 filles ensemble et puis 500 avec 4 garçons, quand écrit examination là, 38 et puis les 29 mai. Ça c'est aujourd'hui et puis demain. Si l'officier d'évaluation ministre de l'Éducation Robert Gist, ces étudiants là ensemble et puis power, si vous suivre standard que le ministre de l'Éducation pour trouver bayo. Gist a créé assez étudiants pour prendre temps à eux pendant qu'ils ont écrit l'examination là. Et aussi aviser power pour pas makanda et puis enfants avant l'examination là. Mais c'est mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelle en créole pour à présent. Non, moi c'est McPherson Luce. Au revoir.
Coming up next, what you should know about sugar substitutes.
Get in and fasten your seatbelt, okay?
Mom, why do I have to wear seatbelts? I do not want to.
James, when I ask you to fasten your seatbelt, please do as I say. It's for your own safety and protection, okay?
Yeah.
Protect yourself, protect the child. Always fasten your seatbelt. Crashes can happen at any time. It is better to be safe than sorry. Remember, seatbelts save lives. A message brought to you by the Violence and Injury Surveillance System Committee in collaboration with the Pan American Health Organization.
A sugar substitute is a food additive that provides a sweet taste like that of sugar while containing significantly less food energy. Some sugar substitutes are natural and some are synthetic, so be careful when you choose sweeteners for your food. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm. Like our Facebook page, facebook.com/GIS News Dominica, and follow our Twitter at GIS Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. From all of us here on the GIS News production team, I'm Jarna Hector. Thank you for watching and join us again next time on National Focus.
Thank you.